Ever heard of the Salem witch trials? Of course you have. But what if I told you that long after the hysteria in Massachusetts died down, the mountains of Arkansas were still rife with tales of shape-shifting witches, supernatural pacts, and even a formal witch trial? Welcome to the haunting folklore of the Ozarks. Deep in the isolated hills of 19th century Arkansas, life was tough. Settlers, often called hill folk, faced constant hardship. And when unexplained misfortunes struck a failed crop, a sudden illness, a spooked horse, it was easy to blame something otherworldly. For many, that blame fell on their neighbors, particularly the isolated, elderly women who lived on the fringes of society. It was believed these women had made pacts with the devil, gaining dark powers in exchange for their souls. One of the most astonishing cases is the Carroll County witch trial from the 1850s. A woman named Mrs. Inman was formally accused of witchcraft. Her neighbors stood up in court and testified that she would transform into a terrifying creature, magically saddle them up, and ride them through the dark, unforgiving hills all night. Can you imagine standing before a judge and making that claim? It shows just how deeply these beliefs were ingrained in the community. Then there's the legend of Old Fighting Sue. The story goes that a family was being tormented by what they believed was a witch. One night, they saw a black cat with glowing red eyes trying to get into their home. Convinced it was the witch in disguise, the man of the house grabbed his gun and shot it. The next day, a local woman known as Old Fighting Sue was found dead in her bed from a gunshot wound. Coincidence? The locals certainly didn't think so. This theme of shape-shifting, especially into cats, is incredibly common in Arkansas folklore. It was a way to explain how these supposed witches could sneak around unseen, causing mischief and mayhem. Moving into the 20th century, the fear didn't just vanish. She was a renowned fortune-teller, someone people would seek out for glimpses into their future. But that same ability made her feared. Her neighbors were convinced she was a witch, and her reputation as a powerful, mysterious figure shows how these beliefs lingered, evolving from outright accusations to a more subtle fear and respect for the supernatural. And the stories keep coming. There's the tale of the Haw Creek Witch, a popular modern folktale in the Arkansas River Valley. And in Fort Smith, you can find what's known as the Witch's Grave, the final resting place of Susanna Morris. Local legend insists she was a witch, and her gravesite is said to be haunted, a focal point for spooky stories told for generations. These tales aren't just ghost stories. They're a window into the past. They reflect the deep-seated superstitions, the hardships of pioneer life, and the human tendency to find explanations for the unexplainable. The isolated, poor, or widowed women who were so often the targets of these accusations were simply convenient scapegoats for a community grappling with fear and uncertainty. Today, the idea of witchcraft has transformed. In modern Arkansas, you can find pagan and Wiccan groups who openly practice their beliefs, a far cry from the hidden, feared figures of the past. They even host witches' balls, celebrating their spirituality in public. It is a fascinating evolution from the dark superstitions of the Ozark Hills to a recognized spiritual path. The witches of Arkansas are no longer just figures of folklore. They are part of a living, breathing history that continues to unfold. What do you think? Are these just tall tales born from hardship? Or is there something more to the legends of the Ozark witches? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this dive into forgotten folklore, be sure to like and subscribe for more hidden histories. See you next time.